Hey everyone, it's Amanda and Monica Looming, and we're here with another design by our dear friend Miss Dreamin' Out Loud on Instagram. This is the Horizon bracelet. It is a nice thick bracelet on the loom, and it is a 7-pin bar design, and we have the nice new 6-pin extenders here that you can purchase on Rainbowloom.com. And I would like to show you our friend's Instagram account. Here is her account. She used to be Miss Fibromyalgia Warrior, and it was just a few days ago, Fibromyalgia Awareness Day on May 12th. Now this bracelet was named by Mythic_Loomer. And here's their account. We always like to give credit where credit is due, and so does Miss Dreamin' Out Loud. They have some amazing renditions of bracelets on their account as well. So why don't you go check them out. Ooh, look. It's a Love Lock by Miss Looming Mama in a tutorial on our channel. Alright, so here is the rendition that we did for you today to show you. This was using a picture that was on Dreamin' Out Loud's Instagram page. So we had inspiration from her Instagram using one of her color patterns. And this kind of reminded me of Tangled or Rapunzel. So I really liked that. It is using the Caribbean green and the pink sweets, also the jelly gold and the glitter gold, and also cocoa. Now this is done on a 2-loom link setup and on 7-pin bar setup. Now this will fit an average size wrist on the 2-loom link setup. If you want one that will fit a slightly larger wrist like myself, I would say go 2.5 or 3 loom length, depending on how much larger your wrist is. I probably would go, I'd say 2 and 3/4 to 3.5 to 3. Just depending on how large your wrist is. But for an average size wrist, I had Amanda try this on and it fit her wrist. Now if you are using the 300 pack, 100% silicone, they do tend to stay stretched, so the bracelet will be a little bit larger even then, so you might want to take that into consideration as well. So for today's rendition, we are going to be using 5 different colors. We'll be using cocoa again, also the Caribbean green again. We'll be using opaque purple, opaque white, and then glitter pink from Learning Express. All of these are Rainbowloom brand. These 4 can be found on Rainbowloom.com. So if you will go get your colors together, and you can do as many as you want. Today I will be using 5, and I will be using a few of them over again a couple times. So go get your colors together, and I do want to show you how the loom is set up so you can get your loom set up that way. The loom is set up with the 2 ends, the 2 pin bars on each side are set at the same height, and the 3 in the middle are down 1/2. So the 2 on the ends are at the same height, and then the 3 in the middle are down 1/2 step. Alright? So go get your looms ready and come right back here with your loom, your bands, and your hook, and we will get ready. So for right now, we are going to lay 2 cocoa bands right down here on the middle band, or the middle row, which is the 4th row in. And we're just going to drop those 2 for later when we're ready to close the bracelet in. Now we're going to start doing our perimeter, and this is one of the bracelets where you're just going to do the perimeter start right here. So I'm going to start and go to the left and then go to the right. Now you can do it the opposite way, but we do suggest whichever way you start that you do the same way throughout the rest of the bracelet. I'm going to the left first and then to the right. All right, so now we've just done the perimeter right here. Now we're going to do our second step, which is we are going to start doing X's on either side of the loom. So we're going to start on this side. We're going to do an X. And then we're going to start on this side. And we're going to do an X. And it needs to stay in this order. All right, before we do our next X, we're going to put 2 cocoa bands on this side, right over top of that X that you just put down, and 2 cocoa bands on this side over top of what you just put down. All right, now we're going to continue doing this. Making sure that your first step goes in and then your second step goes out. This one more time, and then I'm going to continue off camera. This is a 2-step process, gradually up the loom so that you don't have a single chain going up your bracelet. So I'm going to continue doing this all the way up to the bracelet, and I will come back and show you how we close it off at the end. Alright everyone, so I have gone to the second to the last pin on the pin bars with the crosses or the X's and the cocoa straight lines. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to put a band perpendicular, a cocoa band perpendicular over top of those on each side, and then I'm going to finish out my perimeter. I'm not going to put my cap band on, but I wanted to finish out my perimeter. Now, for our next step, we're still going to be using the line approach, but we are going to do a single chain, 2 single chains on the 3rd pin and on the 5th pin. We are going to be using the opaque white, and we are just going to be doing 2 single chains in opaque white all the way down. I'm just going to do a couple of them, go off camera because I know this is pretty easy. And make sure you push them down because there's going to be a lot on these rows. So I'm just going to do this off camera because this is fairly easy. Be right back. Now that we have gotten our 2 rows of single chain white all the way down the looms, we are going to start, and we are going to do where on this one I have the Caribbean green and the sweet pink. I'm going to have the Caribbean green and the opaque purple. Now on these you can do one color, you can do as many colors as you want. I'm choosing to do 2 different colors. And when you do the 2 different colors, since with these you're going to flip them up, you're going to need to do, when you do them, you're going to need to do them with 2 in pairs of 2. So I'm going to start with purple. So I did 1 purple, and then I just did another purple. I think Amanda just texted me. So what I did to this side, I'm going to do over here the same way. Now I'm going to switch over to the Caribbean green. So whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And this is just zigzags that we're doing. You're just going to zigzag all the way up the loom on these 2 rows with these 2 colors, or however many colors. If you choose just 1 color, that is completely fine. If you choose 12 colors, that is also completely fine. But I do suggest, if you choose that many colors, that you do like I am doing, and you do the pairs of 2, so that when you flip them over, that they will be the same color. So I'm going to go off camera. I have a fly in here. I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I finished out all of the zigzags of the colors all the way down the loom. So now we are going to start in the middle here, and this is where we are going to use our glitter pink, our gorgeous glitter pink. And what we are going to do here in the middle is we are going to make some pretty little diamonds. And you can start from either side. Like I said before, you probably want to stay with whatever side you started with first at the very beginning. So I always start with left, so I started with left this time. And you just make pretty little diamonds. And you continue this all the way up the loom. This time I'm using glitter pink. In this one I used the glitter gold. So you can see where it is in this one. And like how I have this one, I have the Caribbean green, and I used the pearl pink in this one. Today I'll be using the Caribbean green and opaque purple. So I'm going to continue making my diamonds, and I will be right back. It won't take me any time. Go all the way up to the end of the loom. Alright, so this is what the end of your loom should look like. You should end with a half of a diamond. So let's go to the beginning again. And like I said before, we are going to do different ones, and we're going to alternate between the Caribbean green and the purple. So we're going to start out with the Caribbean green. And what we're going to treat this like is each one of these are going to basically be like a modified starburst. So what we're going to do is we're going to start basically here at 2 o'clock. If you're thinking of like a clock or like when you're doing a starburst, the same way. We're going to start here. Put one there. Right here. Right there. And down. You want to make sure you keep pushing them down because there's going to be a lot on there. Okay, so now let's move up to this next one, and this next one's going to be purple. So let's go up to the same spot. Just picture that this one, we started here, like here's the center spot on it, and we started from the center spot over here. So let's go to the center of this diamond, and we're going to go over here to the 2 o'clock place. And then you just keep going around. Make sure you don't miss any of the points all around. And you're going to do that for each one going up the loom. So I'm going to continue doing this for each one, and I will be right back. Alright, so they all got finished all the way up until down here, which was only a half of one. Now, on each one of these, they need to have a cap band, and it's going to be a triple cap band. So we're going to start right down here, and I usually just do it on the pin, but I can show you on a hook. So you do 1, 2, and 3. So you're going to have 3 bands on one. And then some people find it easier to do it from a hook on to the pin, but I find it easier to just do it on the pin. And it needs to be 3. And you're going to do that all the way down. So I have the rest of them already on there. So now it is time for us to turn it around. And this last one is acting as our cap band for the rest of the bracelet. So that's the nifty thing about it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do all of our starbursts first. So we are going to loom all of them out first. And so what you're going to do is you're going to go inside of the cap band, pull it back, and pull back each band that is on top. So the ones here you should have done, and they should be in the same order that I am pulling them. Just like these. So your first one should look just like that. And this one's just a half one. Alright. So now this first one is, or this first purple one, is a full one. So you're going to go inside of that cat band and you're going to pull this first one back this way. Then the second one is going to go over here, and then so on and so forth. It's just like a regular starburst. And then after a while, I like how the starburst kind of opens up and you can kind of go sideways and find the bands that you need to find in there. And that makes it a little bit easier. So let's do one more, and I'll go off camera and do it. Alright, so I'm going to loom the rest of these little starbursts, and I will be right back. So I've made all the starbursts, I've loomed them out. Our next is to do all of the diamonds. So we're going to shine bright like a diamond. So what we're going to do is we are going to go inside of each one of the diamonds, and we're going to go inside of the purple and green. You're going to pull those back first, and then you're going to grab the pink glitter that's on top, and you're going to pull it back to where the other end of the pink glitter is. And then you're going to get the one on the other side. And then you're just going to continue doing this. And you want to make sure you're grabbing it from the ones in the middle. Going to go on up here. Making sure that you're not pulling any extra bands. Once you get those two that go down, the two that go up are a lot easier because you have those bands already out of the way. Gotta do one more with you all. Alright, I'm going to go off camera and film loom the rest of these, and I will be right back. Alright, so I did all of the glitter diamonds. Now we're going to go down here and we're going to do the 2 single chains, making sure that you're going in behind all of the bands that are on top of it, pulling them back, and then going and grabbing it. I'm going to continue this off camera. I will be right back. Alright, I have gone and I have done the single chain all the way down the loom. Our next bit is we are going and we are getting the zigzag of the Caribbean green and the opaque purple, and we are looming from the white that we just loomed out, and we are staying from that and we are looming from there over to the cocoa. So you are going to go in behind. There are some bands that you got to go in behind to get to I will say it is harder, but you need to make sure you get in behind those bands to get to the bands that you need. So you're staying in behind the white bands and looming out. And you're going to do this on both sides. Oops, I got the wrong one. And you're going to do this all the way down the loom. So I'm going to do this one last one, and I'm going to go off camera to do the rest. So I will be right back. Alright, I have gone and I have moved all of the Caribbean green and the purples, and I have gone in from the single chain white and I have pulled them all back, making sure to go in behind all of the bands on top of them, making sure to go in behind the glitter pink, and if it was a Caribbean green on top or a purple on top, making sure to go in behind both of those. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go and we're going to turn our loom sideways, because this is one of those where you're going to flip one band up. So I will say, if you do like blinging your bracelets, like our friends Chijaro and Otterson Loom and Nix Haley 22 and a few others that we love looking at, this is one of those that you will have to bling as you go, because if you want to have this side up, it's going to need to have the bling added as we loom, because these are going to be flipped over. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab the bottom band, just one single band. There's going to be 4 on this second peg. There's only going to be 2 on this first one, but there's going to be 4 on every peg, but the first one and the last one. And you're just going to grab one of them, and it's going to be the bottom one. And if you did your coloring like ours, where you did the 2 and 2, you're going to have a different color each time. So I'm going to continue doing this on both sides, and our colors are going to alternate just like this. I have green, purple, green, and I'm going to do this and I'll be right back. Alright, so now I just want to show that I went all the way down the loom, right down through here, and we have alternating colors of purple and green. Now, if you don't want alternating colors of purple and green, you don't have to do it, or whatever colors you're using. You don't have to do the 2-color approach. Like we said before, you can do however many colors you would like. But that's just how we like to do it in ours. Okay, so I'm going to scoot in a little bit because we're getting ready to do the cocoa perimeter and then the gradual perimeter on each side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in to our first starburst leg piece, and it's also our makeshift cat band, and I'm going to grab our cocoa bands, which is our perimeter pieces, and I'm going to pull the top one over and make a teardrop on both sides. What you do to one, you do the other. Now there are a bunch of bands over here that I'm going to have to pull back to get down to that bottom cocoa one. But you need to make sure that you're pulling down all of those bands back to get to that bottom cocoa one. There's not a ton of tension on it, so it should slide off fairly easily. Just like I like to push them down. Now what we're going to do is we are here to the sides. On both sides, we've pulled our perimeter to the ends. Now it does depend. It does matter what way you do these in, because if you don't do them in the correct way, then it won't look the same. So let's start on this side, and what you're going to do is you're going to be doing this band that's right here. So I'm pulling back our Caribbean green and our cocoa band and grabbing that cocoa band, and it should be the band on the top, and pulling it over here. So that would complete our perimeter on this end. Doing the same on this side. And then we're going to do this cocoa band that's going straight up and make a teardrop out of it. So I'm just going to work on this side right now, and then we'll work on this side in a minute. So we just did the cocoa band that went straight up. Now I'm going to pull my Caribbean and cocoa band back, and I'm going to grab this Caribbean green band and pull it up to make a teardrop. Now our next step is to grab and pull back this cocoa, and we're going to pull this cocoa band up. Next, we're going to grab the last remaining band on this one, which is the Caribbean green, and do the exact same thing. I'm going to continue on this I'm going to continue on this side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to pull back all of the bands. There's going to be more bands on this one that you're going to need to pull back to grab that cocoa and pull it forward, just like you're making a single chain of cocoa. But remember, just the way you place the bands, it's going to look nicer than just a single chain because you place them in a ongoing position, so they won't look like just a single chain going up and down. So all I did the cocoa first, then I just did the Caribbean green. Our next is to go and pull those bands back and grab the cocoa and do it vertical. Pull the bands back, grab it, the Caribbean green, and do it diagonal. Now I'll show you on this side. It's just going to be the mirrored look over here. So instead of doing the right side like you did over here, you're going to be doing the left side. Pulled it back, went forward, Caribbean green, diagonal, cocoa, forward, Caribbean green, diagonal, cocoa, forward, Caribbean green, diagonal, cocoa, forward, and Caribbean green, diagonal. Now you're going to continue this all the way up the loom, and I will show you how, when you get up to the perimeter, how to finish it off. I'll be right back. Alright, so I went all the way down the loom, doing all of the cocoa and Caribbean green X's and single chains. Now the only thing we have left to do is to close out this perimeter. So I'm going to start on the left hand side, and I'm just going in here and going in behind all the bands and grabbing this band and pulling it over here. Doing the same to this side, and then I'm going into this second pin bar, making sure I'm pulling back all of the bands, including that one that I just flipped over, and then pulling that second one in. Doing the same to this side. And then finally, oops, how about I start on the right side, Monica? You always tell your looming buddies to start on the right side. Why don't you? Alright, and so I just finished out doing the perimeter here, and I'm going to grab my 2 dropped bands. I'm going to pull all the bands back. I'm going to grab those 2 dropped bands and put them on my hook. And I'm going to grab a C-clip. I'm going to grab one of the larger C-clips and just put it on there. And let's take this puppy off the loom. You know that we like to make sure to take it off the loom very easily, because we don't want to have all this hard work and then fall apart. So Amanda and I always like to do the surrounding border, or the first pegs and the last peg ones first, and then that may free up a lot of the tension to where we can possibly just get the first few pegs where we have something to tug on, and if it doesn't, we can move to the second and the last bar pin. So I still think there's a little bit of tension right here, so I'm going to go to the second and the last bar pin. Yeah, because there was a lot of tension on that one. And I'm just I'm using my fingers, and then I'm using my hook for a little bit of help. We don't like to edit this part out of our videos only because we want to show everyone out there that even we struggle sometimes with getting these off of the looms, and we're not perfect. I mean, I think there was one tutorial that I had one fly up and hit me in the face. I didn't edit that out. I laughed at myself. If I can't laugh at myself, you can't laugh at me. I always laugh at myself. I'd rather laugh at myself than no one else. Okay, so I think we can relieve some of these few. My hook gets stuck. I swear that only happens in tutorials. Not. Alright, so I'm just taking a few of these off at the very front so that I can get a little bit of room up here so that I can pull it up some and have room to have a little grasp on things so that I can pull it off of the loom now. I got it down to 3 bar pins instead of the 7. So let's remove this loom, and then the all-important part, the stretching. Okay. So here is the gorgeous Horizon bracelet by our dear friend, Miss Dreaming Out Loud. And the name was from Mythic Loomer. But the bracelet design was by our dear friend Dreaming Out Loud. So if you decide to make this gorgeous design, which we love, if you would please tag and hashtag Dreaming Out Loud, and also tag and hashtag Mythic Loomer. We will put both of their names in the description below. Also, please tag and hashtag us. We love to see your renditions, all of your color combos, what you add to them. We just love seeing them. Also, if you will like our video, if you like the tutorial, we would love to get a big thumbs up. And if you would like to subscribe to our channel, you will get notifications when new tutorials are up. If you will, let's see, we have YouTube, we have Instagram. We are super active on Instagram and YouTube. And we also have Facebook and Twitter. So we are very active on social media. We love to hear from everyone, and we love to see everyone's renditions of everything. So if you would follow us on all of those. We love our looming family. We love our hashtag of Loom for a Cause. We're super passionate, as I said before. So please come visit us on all of our social medias. Bye. Have a nice day. Love you. Mwah.